So, you guys ready to be shocked? New Quinnipiac poll. 79% of American voters believe the U.S. is in a state of political crisis. 71% of Americans believe political violence is a very serious problem. That's up from 54% who felt that way in June. And 53% of voters say they're pessimistic about free speech in the U.S. That's not good. That is not good. That is not a good place for us to be as Americans. We've got some issues here in this country. 39% of respondents say they approve of how President Trump is handling the economy. 85% of Republicans, only 5% of Democrats. But when it came to the violence and the insane way that we are talking to each other, both sides agree. It's funny, they both agree that it's bad, but most of them only agree that the other side doesn't, if that makes sense. And the left, you guys are so blinded. You know, Chris and I were talking about before he left. They've got this weird moral high ground that they think that their hate somehow, because they feel it's justified because you are a Nazi. And so it's justified to call you that. You're a fascist. I could call you that. It's justified to call you a fascist. No, it's not. Because you're not a fascist. You know how I know? Because if you really thought Trump was a fascist and he was a real fascist, you wouldn't say that. That would be, no. Zip it. That would be absolute zip it on that. And it just, I mean, when you look at these numbers, it's scary. It is. Even one in, and this is the crazy thing. So 3 out of 4 think on the Democrats think democracy is crumbling. But what's scary is 1 out of 4 Republicans think that too. So that's not like it was some bizarre, like only 2%. There's still a decent amount that feel that we've got struggles here. And we've got to figure this thing out. We got to have more conversations. We got to start, connecting. You heard Gavin Newsom there talking about, Charlie. He goes this. Where were the Democrats? They were nowhere to be found.
No, they were there. They were screaming at him and calling him a Nazi.
Yeah, they were. Some of them, but this is why you spent, was it $30 million to do a big, giant, huge. We're going to put together this big report on how we talk to men. That was $30 million. You could have took us out to lunch, gave us each a couple grand. We'd have shown you how to do it, how to talk to men. It's not that hard. The problem is for the Democrats, no matter what you're told, you're going to take the wrong path. No matter what you're offered, and they say, look, here's the deal. You got to stop talking about dudes playing in girls' sports. It's such a minute, it's so tiny. Was there like 8 people in Division I? But yet you guys buy into it, and then you allow those 8 people to dictate a vast majority of what goes on politically for you guys, and you fail. You've got to stop with, crime, while it's gone up a little bit, it's only because people are hungry. They're robbing a jewelry store. They're not eating the diamonds. They're not. Somebody give me a watch. I'm starving. Anybody know the time? Dinner time. All right? You've got to stop with that. It shouldn't be this hard. But it doesn't matter. You could give them the roadmap to the treasure that is the midterms and the presidency, and somewhere along the line, they'll sink the boat, even though they're in a car. Because they allow too many people to have too many voices, and they have no clear-cut leader.
But never interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake.
Yes. Never. Never, ever, ever. And they make so many mistakes. I've laughed because I've got several friends, and this politics is what they do for a living. They work on both sides of the aisle, and they put together campaigns, and they've asked me, hey, can you give us, what do you think about this? And I'll say, dude, does it matter what I tell you? Because even you go telling me, look at Rahm Emanuel. What did he say? We got to stop talking about the bathroom and start talking about the what's going on in the classroom. And he got hammered for that. Keep doing it. Keep doing what you're doing. You're going to keep getting what you're getting. And they have no leader, too. That's the other thing. They have zero leadership. And you're not going to... Chuck Schumer's not a leader.
Well, now, he was pretty scary when he said we may not have enough Tostitos for our Super Bowl dips.
Oh, that's right. Was it Tostitos or was it avocados?
Yeah, avocados.
Even if we would have had that was when we were going to go after Mexico and the tariffs. It would have still been like a month before that would have took place. But he was telling everybody a week before, well, we're not going to have the Super Bowl because we don't have avocados.
I did see a report online last night that he's starting to lose. It's becoming apparent in this. They said in the report that it was apparent that his caucus in the Senate is starting to basically abandon him.
Yeah.
That they're tired of him.
Because he's 90 years old?
Yeah, because he is. And everybody's talking about AOC. Could she be president? Could she be president? That's not going to happen. You know what she is going to do? She's going to run for Senate, and she's going to win that seat.
That seems more likely.
She is. And part of the problem, too, is Mondani and AOC and them, they're under 100. They have their own teeth, what they were born with, right? Their hips work just fine. I mean, they don't need a walker or anything like that. That is their other part. I mean, it's like Hakeem Jeffries. That dude's not your leader either.
No.
He isn't your leader.
People want to try to, compare him to Obama.
No.
He is nowhere near.
No. Obama was smooth as butter.
Yep.
That guy knew how to play politics.
Yep.
That guy knew all the ins and outs, and he was kind of cool personified. Like, what's going on? Hakeem Jeffries is anything but. You have no leader.
He's a political klutz.
That's exactly what he is. He is a political klutz. It's a great way to describe him. And so, because you have no leader, you're going to get what you get over and over and over again. And you'll choose poor things. And the funny thing is somebody wants to reach for it. They want to grab for it. They haven't had a leader since Obama left, and they keep going back to him.
Do you think it's because within the party, there's fighting? There's a split. Like the old guard does not want to relinquish control.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And the donors don't want to.
They don't want to give it up.
They don't want to give it up either because the younger generation and the Republicans are going to have this, problem too because the younger MAGA, the people that Trump brought in, they're more populist than corporatist. So they don't want to give it up. They don't want to give up the power. So the donors don't want to give up the power because they need the power. And these guys and gals, they don't want to give up their seat at the table. Their trough is still full. And they're feasting at that trough. There's no doubt. It is so amazing when I was watching Chuck Schumer the other day. You see somebody like, there's guys who are old and cool, like the most interesting man in the world. None of these people are that. None of them are. You see, you're in your 70s and 80s. You're not Betty White and cool and fun and hip and have it all together. You're a dork when you were younger, and you're now old and a dork. Mitch McConnell, same thing. Jiminy Cricket. Is he still alive? He's still around, right?
Who?
Mitch McConnell?
Still alive and still useless.
You better watch your mouth.
Oh, gee. Mitch. Somebody they had to put one of those mirrors underneath, see if he was breathing. See if he fogged it up. So, yeah. They're going to continue to suffer, and that's great. If I'm the Republicans, sit back, let them continue to fail. Like, never interrupt your enemy when they're screwing up. But at the same time, the economy will play a big role in that, but that's something that you can only do so much about. So this will be interesting because you should easily win next year. Even without redistricting at the rate it was going, you should have been able to hold on to it. So, because they have, and I do worry about that a bit with Trump, because Trump is such a force. And I know, did you see, was it Lindsey Graham said yesterday, I'd be happy for a third term? Oh, God. Shut up. Aren't you supposed to move to Israel? Is that your thing? Go away. Don't you guys understand? No, go away.
It's just gotten to the point where he can't open his mouth without embarrassing himself.
I know. A third term. No on the third term. But what happens, there's going to be a battle to see who elevates themselves. And we've seen it here with, in the 7th and stuff. It's they're all trying to get the endorsement. And, who's going to get the endorsement? Will it be Marco? Will it be JD? You would think JD. But at least you've got a path of people that you're like, okay, that person could lead the party. 0 people over there. Now, there's a couple governors that I think would be okay, but they don't have the magnetism. That's the other part of it. It's still a popularity contest.
Interesting that there has been no endorsement for one of the Republicans running in the 7th district yet.
No. Well,
I don't think Trump has endorsed anyone.
No,
yet.
He hasn't. That is very interesting.
Because I think the primary for that, the special primary, is coming up in just a couple of weeks.
Yeah, a couple of weeks, and he's still not endorsed anybody. And you'll
probably go with Afton.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. What's she look like? We don't need the seat anyways. I like her. She's fun. Yeah, I don't know who we'd go with, but they're trying hard.
Oh, and everybody's claiming that, they're Trump's guy.
Yeah, you listen to those commercials. I'm Mega Trump, Super MAGA. No, what? I'm Mega MAGA.
One of them's wearing a bright yellow MAGA hat. I've never seen a bright yellow MAGA hat.
That's standing out right there. Somebody's made a bad fashion choice. Can't do that. Bright yellow. Coming up.
Yeah, special primary election. It's going to be Tuesday, October 7th.
Yeah, Tuesday, October 7th. So we are...
It's like 2 weeks.
Yes, less than 2 weeks. What's like 12 days away. 12 days. And still no... Do you think he'll endorse by next week? Or would he just say, nah?
What if he's just not even thinking about it?
Yeah, that's a possibility too. It is. But you think... Well, yeah, here's the thing. You have the seat, right? Like, you're going to win the seat. And all of them are, they're all wanting your endorsement. So it really doesn't matter because, whoever wins that is probably going to win the general.
Oh, yeah.
So you endorsing somebody, just whoever wins, great. I'll throw you an endorsement during the general and we'll move on. So I think that's more likely, but we'll see. I mean, maybe we'll fight. Coming up, TikTok. Do we own TikTok?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Going to sign the deal, though.
Oh,
I understand. Trump is scheduled to sign the deal, but I have not seen when.
I know. And I know there's going to be a lot of people in there. We'll talk about that coming up straight ahead. Chad Benson, Super Talk 997.
TikTok's U.S. operations will now be run by this new joint venture, with American users' data stored in the U.S. and overseen by the cloud computing firm Oracle. And perhaps most importantly, this new ownership group will get a copy of the algorithm, that secret sauce that makes TikTok so addictive. Trump says other American investors, including Michael Dell of Dell Technologies and the Murdoch family, will also play a role.
It's going to be interesting. I don't know why they would give up the the algorithm. I mean, that's a guarded, they value that as a guarded military secret.
China?
Yeah.
That's the formula to Coke.
That is. That's what they guard it at. That is one of those things where they have their own skiff, and if you want to look at it, that's where you go.
Don't trust China.
I would not trust China at all, sir. You're correct on that one.
So you think we had to give something up?
I think they're going to give us something like it, but not it.
Gotcha.
And I'm sure they've built some sort of backdoor in. And I just find it hard to believe China would just give it all up. You know?
I'm curious how many updates they've pushed into TikTok since that law was passed.
Yeah, that's true. I just feel like that's just, and look, I love me some TikTok, right? I mean, we all love her some TikTok. Ken loves him some TikTok.
I do,
Not
man.
me.
I sent him today, what I said? I sent you a spider.
That was fantastic. I've never seen a spider that looks like that.
It was so cool.
You send me TikToks all the time, and I can't even open
I
them.
sent it to the group, but I'm sorry that you still only have MySpace.
It's Friendster.
Oh, Friendster. Friendster's phenomenal. So, but why would you give that up? I mean, it's, that's the, I just don't know why they would do that.
We're not supposed to question those things, Brother Chad.
Yeah, well, somebody's got to question it because that is you can reproduce all the other crap, right? The little faces and the filters. That secret sauce, that's the secret sauce. Why it does that, why their algorithm works so well. Other algorithms are good, but nothing like theirs. Nothing.
So is Instagram close to it?
I'd say, yeah, Instagram's closer than everybody else. Like, Twitter is it's more political centric.
Boy, is it.
You're not gonna get fuzzy dogs or the Hyrax that screams that makes me laugh. You're not getting that. But you'll get more of that with Instagram, but there's just something about the way they do this algorithm. And again, they've already got enough of our data because we opted into it. So you got a TV that's Chinese, probably listening to you.
Let's see. I've got what is my TV? I got to go home and look at that. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Don't worry. It'll call you in a minute and tell you.
It will.
We were listening to you. Let us tell you who we are.
By the way, you're really getting good at dancing in your underwear.
Oh, my goodness.
It's like I've told you before, I have my phone set to not listen, but it does it anyway.
Of course.
Because we're sitting here talking about a subject on air. My phone's sitting over here beside me. And then suddenly when I get off air, I'm noticing that the ads or the stories that I'm getting align with what we were talking about.
Yeah, obscure stuff, too. Stuff that's weird that you would think there's no way that this thing, I never looked for it even, and it pops up. You could mention like Bali. Like, yeah, I'd think about going to Bali one day. Next thing you know, you get all these ads for Bali. Like, I didn't look for that. I just said it.
And it supposedly wasn't listening.
Yeah,
but it
supposedly.
obviously is.
Supposedly wasn't. Oh, China commits to cutting 10% of its climate pollution.
Commits to?
Yeah, commits to. Go look at it. It's commits. It's like 2046. We'll start cutting back.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Don't trust China. I'm not going to.
Don't trust China.
All right. I won't trust China. So this 9914, my Instagram is full of boobs and people dying in horrific ways. At least you're honest. Yeah. There's a lot of that
That's
out there.
what my ex is. See, all I ever do on X is I just do football. Football. But the Sooner fans that I follow and interact with, some of them are really political. Or apparently some of them really like watching people fight.
Yeah.
Because I get a lot of reposted just fights in the street.
People like, Sooners this weekend are playing Texas Tech, and they go through it. And then 5 minutes later, it's like, oh, by the way, here's a guy beating up a drunk woman on the street.
Yes.
Oh, good. Yeah. My Instagram is it's varied. I've got some funny stuff and some people I follow, and some animal stuff. And then my TikTok is just full of just nothing but goofy animal things and stupid things like that. Because I get enough politics.
So
Trust me.
My Instagram just popped up, and this has got to be AI. It is a group of monitor lizards trying to attack a porcupine.
Yeah, that's not very bright.
And the porcupine is sticking every one of them. That's AI.
Yeah, don't mess with the porcupine. Just let you guys know that.
Then here's another fella jumping off of a cliff into a little creek.
So I am watching a guy spearfish in the mangrove islands. See, that's the silly stuff I get. That's the silly stuff. But if you go to Twitter, it's the exact opposite. And Twitter's a much different engagement because they want engagement in a different kind of way where they value that. YouTube, their shorts aren't anywhere near where TikTok. And in fact, most of the stuff that you see elsewhere is TikTok first that gets pushed out there to all their other ones.
Man, I am still addicted to this guy that mows people's overgrown lawns.
Oh, I love that one. That guy's great. He's great. Ooh, wait.
I can't stop watching it.
It's fun to watch it start to finish, overgrown to beautiful.
Right.
It's amazing. There's something satisfying about it. No doubt. All right, coming up, talk a little UN, and this lady's not happy about Ozempic. We'll talk about that as well. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997. U.S. Attorney talking Nancy Larson about the gunshot sprayed, the length of the ICE facility of vehicles. They're going over everything.
And I just learned what the correct pronunciation of this person's last name
We
is.
were going with Ruth? What were going?
No,
which one?
Yeah, this is the ICE shooter.
Okay.
It is Jan.
Jan.
His last name is Jan.
Okay. All right.
I've been calling it Jean, but
you
J
put a little
is silent.
spice on it.
Yeah.
Spice. You put a little spicy on it with the Jean. You tried to be Euro.
Yeah.
Jean.
Yeah, I was trying to be cool.
So several people, when you talked about the ICE bullet, anti-ICE, several people say, that guy's a patsy. There's no way that somebody would scribble that. Like, that is the...
Well, yeah, I mean, that doesn't... Because it doesn't match with what she's saying is on these handwritten notes that they say they found after a search at his home.
Yeah, for somebody who was supposedly... They said it's super detailed what he was going to do, and that... For all of that stuff, that's the best he could do with that was just anti-ice on one of the bullets?
It's just a question I would have.
Yes, Bill.
They're doing this. There is a press conference right now. Do you want to?
Yeah, let's dip in for a little bit and see what they're saying.
Nor did he mention any specific government agency other than ICE. Among his papers, though, was a handwritten note in which, in crude words, he expressed his hatred for the federal government. Finally, I want to address the heroism of our federal agents yesterday. While under fire, ICE agents and ATF agents, who were also present in the facility's Sallyport area, worked together to remove detainees from the vans and get them to safety while the bullets were flying. These agents were heroic, clearly willing to lay down their lives to save the lives of the detainees in their custody. And that's an extremely important point to make at this point in time. I want to express my deepest appreciation for the bravery of these law enforcement officers yesterday and every single day that they go out there to keep us safe. I'll now turn it over to FBI Special Agent in charge of the Dallas field office, Joe Rothrock. Thank you.
Good afternoon. First, I'd like to start by thanking our acting United States Attorney, Nancy Larson, and her office for their support during this investigation. My name is Joe Rothrock, and I'm the Special Agent in charge of the FBI's Dallas field office. Yesterday morning, Joshua Yan carried out a targeted, ambush-style attack on law enforcement. Today, I will provide you with some updates of what we've learned through our investigation to date, to include Yan's own words in his handwritten notes. Yan specifically intended to kill ICE agents. He fired at transport vehicles carrying ICE personnel, federal agents, and detainees. He also fired multiple shots into the windows of the office building where numerous ICE employees do their jobs every day. We now know that Jan engaged in significant high degree of pre-attack planning. He searched for information about the office building and how to track ICE agents' locations. Jan also acknowledged the potential for other casualties. He knew with a high likelihood ICE detainees would be transported that morning in the exact location where he was facing from his perch on a nearby rooftop. Jan's attack did in fact result in the tragic death of one detainee and the injury to 2 other detainees. We have been able to confirm that Jan legally obtained an 8mm bolt-action rifle he used in the shooting in August of this year. Based on our investigation to date, we believe Jan acted alone, but I'll stress our investigation continues. This attack, yet again, underscores the dangers that law enforcement face daily. We continue to see an increased threats against law enforcement. This is the second attack in recent months on ICE facilities here in North Texas. I do want to take this opportunity to thank our law enforcement partners.
All right, we just dipped in there. That's Joseph Rothrock, FBI, going over the idiot that now we know they're pretty certain worked alone, shot into the ICE facility yesterday. And remember, this is off the freeway, the I-35 in Dallas. And it's not a holding facility or a facility like you see when when we talk about Alligator Alcatraz and stuff like that. It's more of you get yourself checked in. They go through, see if you're here legally, illegally, then get you on your way. And he shot into the facility as well as into a van. And he's got writings. They didn't really go into super detail. He doesn't like the federal government. We know that, according to them. He had some weird stuff, too. Was that thing on his car? Did you see the note on his car?
No.
He had a note on his car, but it wasn't a note. It was a map that some professor had done with nuclear fallout, where the radiation would hit the most or something. It's kind of odd.
I've got the part here where the acting U.S. attorney for the Northern District of Texas starts talking about the notes they found in his home, if you guys want to hear
let's hear some of that.
FBI agents executed a search warrant at the sniper's residence yesterday, and there found a collection of notes. First, I want to point out that one of these notes or papers, the sniper explicitly states, yes, it was just me. That statement appears to be correct at this point in the investigation. Notably, these loose notes included a game plan of the attack and target areas at the facility. He called the ICE employees people showing up to collect a dirty paycheck. He wrote that he intended to maximize lethality against ICE personnel and to maximize property damage at the facility. He hoped to minimize any collateral damage or injury to the detainees and any other innocent people. It seems that he did not intend to kill the detainees or harm them. It's clear from these notes that he was targeting ICE agents and ICE personnel. The tragic irony for his evil plot here is that it was a detainee who was killed and 2 other detainees that were injured when he fired into the Sally Port. He also hoped his actions would give ICE agents real terror of being gunned down, and he did this to induce constant stress in their lives. He hoped his actions would terrorize ICE employees and interfere with their work, which he called human trafficking. And this, what he did, is the very definition of terrorism. Again, his notes reveal, yes, it was just me and my brain. And he said, good luck with the digital footprint. And of course, we take this to mean that he deleted evidence from his devices. His words were definitively anti-ICE. That said, we did not find evidence of membership in any specific group or entity. nor did he mention any specific government agency other than ICE. Among his papers, though, was a handwritten note in which, in crude words, he expressed his hatred for the federal government.
That's interesting.
Finally, I want to address the heroism of our federal agents.
And that is
Yeah.
that for the notes and what they claim to have found with the search warrant.
It's weird, though. There's like, I'm the only one. You know, just like you said. And this is the problem with government. Now that everybody, we all have, and we should have a healthy skepticism of all these agencies, because now that we know more than we've ever known, that we realize how full of crap so many of them are. In the investigation with the Charlie Kirk, the whole thing with that guy. I mean, the FBI absolutely just jacked the pooch on that one. And this one, like you said, the anti-ICE thing is just an odd thing. And then we got it, and it said it was him, and he's totally, he confessed. It's there. So it seems very clean if you want to go in that direction. A lot of times it's Occam razor. That's the way I look at it, which is the easy answer is the answer. But it doesn't mean you don't question stuff, right? I mean, you have to. Sounds like he hated everything, but ICE was his main thing. What do you call it, human trafficking?
Yeah, I called it human trafficking.
I don't think he understands how that works. So, yeah, they weren't being sold off to somebody. They weren't being sold into sex slavery. They weren't being indentured servants. They were being sent back to their countries. And that was that. I mean, it's, again, some people. But my question, because I've seen several interviews and things with his family, some people that knew him, they all said the same thing. Dude showed no interest in anything political. So it goes back to that. You're living a different life, the life in front of the world, like the camera, but behind the scenes, that's where your mindset is with anti-ICE or the meme culture or any of that stuff that you're living in. Because, I mean, imagine if it's really true that your kid had no interest in politics, no interest in any of the things that you would think where somebody would start to become radicalized, and then you woke up yesterday morning and found out your kid had went and carried out attempted assassination of ICE employees, killing one migrant and wounding two others, and then killing himself. That's a hell of a shock.
Yeah, it takes time to alter your mindset to where you hate the federal government.
Yeah.
I mean, it took me years.
Yeah. And trust me, some of you out there that text us, you guys love Trump, but you hate the government. Which is, the federal government. It's not a disdain for the federal government. It is very much a skepticism in a lot of the stuff that they do. But this is, you would think you would notice if somebody's becoming radicalized like that. Maybe that's, you know what though? And I think because everything is out there, we got to start thinking about, we're thinking in the old ways of stuff. Everything's out there now. The lone wolves now know how to put on two faces. It's never the person that says, I'm coming to get you. It's never that one. That one you don't need to worry about because they're just usually 99.9% talk. It's the one that's not saying that you go, because you don't know where they are. You don't. And who they're talking to. But it wasn't because of Fox News or MSNBC that he probably flipped the switch. All right, coming up, we'll have more on this, some other stuff too. I want to get to our fat genocide. That's what it's called. I'm not making this up. You got to hear this, but it deserves a much longer because it's insane. It's the best way to describe it. Chad Benson.
Is this fat people committing genocide or genocide against fat people?
That's chicken genocide. That's totally different. This, you have to hear, and it deserves its own little, you will go play that again, Chad. It is Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997. Yeah. The silent ones we're talking about earlier, and somebody said, who said they don't really fear the online threats? They fear the silent ones. That's it. Man, it's why I always say, we always talk about free speech absolutists. I was always a big believer is you never let crazy get too far out of sight. It's good to know where crazy's at.
Absolutely.
When the Westboro Baptist Church was really big, I would say, never ever try to silence crazy. You want it making as much noise as possible so you know where it is and what it's doing. Because when it goes quiet, that's usually when it's building a bomb.
Yeah, that's when. And now I think what you're finding is these young men, again, let's be honest. When I hear there's a shooter like this, I can almost 100% guarantee it's a white young male pissed off at the world, incel, whatever it is, has got radicalized, but not in a way where you're seeing it out, it's not, very rarely is it the pink hair. It's mostly angry dudes who go deep inside, they get black-pilled, and it's sad. It's a sad situation because they're living their life in a way where nobody else seems to know about it.
Well, and statistically speaking, serial killers and, mass murderers are white males.
Yeah.
There's
it's
obviously,
a statistic.
There's difference. There's like,
you'll find some that are
what's
different.
her name? The one, Aranos that.
Elaine Warnos or whatever.
Warnos, yeah. That's an exception to the rule. The guy in the 70s from Atlanta, he was an exception to the rule, but statistically, it's always a white male.
You know exactly what you're looking for. And when I hear that there's somebody who's like this, I know exactly what I'm looking. I could have told you can. When they started profiling and putting these things together, go watch Mindhunters. It's great on how they started to build this thing. They know what they're doing, and it's the same thing here. They're going to give you it. Don't look for that person that's angry and outwardly angry. Look for that person that is quietly smoldering and take a look at that person because that's the one that might scare you the most because that's the one that nobody's looking for. All right, coming up next hour, I've got our thing, Fat Genocide. I'm not lying, and it starts there, and wait till you hear where it goes. It's crazy. Among other things, straight ahead, Chad Benson, Super Talk 997.